Home Podcast with your boy behind the scenes and your boy in front of the camera, Frankie D. Hey, we got a lot of stuff we want to talk about tonight, man. And Rob, hey,
Talk to me, man.
I want to know some different things. We got some with the classic coming up. We got the high school football right along with college football. Everything brewing. We
Yeah.
got the hot topic now. Trump had to turn himself in at Fulton County. So, man, we got some stuff we want to talk about, man. So let's start. Let's jump on it with this high school football, man. What you talking about? What you thinking?
I mean, well, since we're talking high school football, the obvious right now is Chaminade in the West. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Yeah.
I saw that they got it's 6 Florida teams in the top 25,
Yeah.
top 10.
National?
Nationally ranked.
Okay.
It's 6. Chaminade was one of them,
Okay.
along with Central.
Yeah.
It was Central, the school up there, St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah.
About 6 schools from Florida, and then it was 5 from Cali, 5 from Georgia, 4 from Cali. So Florida's still dominating that as far as the top 25
Okay.
high school football.
Yeah.
But as far as for Dade County, us being former Carol City students, knowing how football has been so big in our life from the time that we came out of school, I'm looking at Central still gonna be on top. They gonna be on top down here. I mean, you got to dethrone Central.
Well, the thing is, man, the big thing is Chaminade right now, man, because Chaminade beat the brakes off the West, like 35-6, some shit like that.
When was this?
This was the first game, man.
All right, so but
The
I'm
first
saying,
game.
I'm still that's what that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Central still is the school to beat when it come down.
It
to,
is. It
to,
is.
You know, they with the championship. So we see what Chaminade. Well, of course, that's gonna be a big game if Chaminade goes undefeated. They done did that to the West. So
Yeah.
now everybody want to see what they're gonna do against Central if they did that to the West.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're in the same division. Now, without
The same
pulling up
district,
all
yeah.
that same district, I don't know how that gonna fare. But
Well, let me give a shout out to it's a podcast a podcast called the Portal. It's the Portal Media Group.
oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So they on that podcast they basically talking about everything like Dade County football, like South Florida football, basically.
Okay.
Not just Dade.
They go a little more in
right.
depth. Okay.
Right.
We
Yeah,
looking
so-
at it from a fan perspective as well.
Yeah.
'cause
But they really go in depth with it though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just want to give a shout out
I
to them.
mean, I haven't followed Carol City football in depthly since we won in 2016 with
Yeah, man.
Aubrey.
Yeah.
That was the last I really followed. Then I see them here and there as
Yeah.
they do what they're gonna do. But the program has suffered a lot.
Yeah.
Suffered a lot. But
Let me see if I can look this up, man.
I mean, what would it take for Carol City to balance out to just be competitive? I mean, that dynasty and controlling Dade County football, that's a lot of work. That's a lot. That's coaching. That's a system. I think we're a long way from that, but just to be competitive year in and year out, and that's all you can expect from. That's all you can ask from high school. To be competitive year in and year out.
Yeah.
And we from the band, which made us real big football fans because we were the big pep, we were the biggest supporters of the football team. In other words, in many words, so it was just a big part of what we did for them to do good. We felt good doing what we did, and so it was always good to have both doing really well. And I think that part of football is sparingly. It's not like it was when we were in school.
Yeah.
We had all these schools with competitive football teams and competitive bands, and a competitive fan base. I mean, and a very supportive fan base. That part of high school football has left us. But I would really like to see some semblance of that. And it's hard to with what the county did with all the cuts and all different things with the school. I mean, the buses and all the things that we used to have is not there like that.
Yeah.
You know, because Kermit had to pay. They had to pay. You know, for the buses for the band to go to the game. They got to pay for that. We wouldn't pay. We don't know nothing about that.
Well, the bands, it's a little different, different when we were in school, man. Well, it's more than a little different, man. It's a lot big differences. Big game that's going to be coming up soon is what they call, I think they call it the Miami Gardens Classic.
And
that's Carol City in New Orleans, man.
Okay, so they call that the Miami Gardens Classic.
I'm gonna bring up the picnic, right?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about the picnic. Of course, Carol City. We didn't start it, but we just made it better. Yeah.
Well, I did hear that Northwestern Picnic was pretty big.
Yeah. It was big. I mean,
I heard numbers like 20,000.
Now
I don't know, but that's what I was hearing.
I think that's fluff, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who was counting, man? You know what I'm saying? I mean, but they just what they do just look out in the crowd and say, "Oh, it's 20,000 people."
Yeah, I don't know if they talk. I don't know if they sold tickets for that. I don't know if they. What did they do?
I mean, what they got
or
to show
did
the
an
proof,
aerial
man.
count. Yeah, show me that you had that much. But I'm supportive of it. I'm like I said before, I'm a child of Northwestern. My mother was in the first graduating class from Northwestern, 1956, and I spent a lot of time with that class, taking my mom to all the different events, and meeting all of those folks and hearing those stories.
Yeah.
So I feel part of it. And then, my mom put me with a lot of those alumni from way back growing up.
Well, listen, without a doubt, right? That Northwestern has a very deep alumni, right? In terms of, I mean, I just got to take my hat off to that. For that.
Yeah, they very supportive of their school. Yeah,
it's just, supportive. And I think you're not gonna get that nowhere in the country.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying? Like Dade County, that's like we love our, high school is a thing, man, down here.
Yeah, and then Carol City wasn't integrated. At that time, so it was either Dorsey or Northwestern, Booker T. So they have a lot of support. They have a lot of rich. It's rich.
Yeah,
and I appreciate it too. So
what else we got?
We from high school now. Let's go to college, and it's a really good experience to go to college, but especially for a black kid growing up here to go to a HBCU and carry on that type tradition. So we had a really good experience with being at Carol City Band, and moving on to FAMU Band, and the same. It was almost like the same field. Our football team was always good, and not good enough to always win all of the championships, but good enough to have a really good supportive band, give us enough to cheer for and cry for, and be a part of it.
Yeah,
and so it's a really good experience for a child to go to college.
Yeah.
And enjoy the black college experience if they know exactly what they want to do.
Yeah.
And they got good leadership guidance to go through that whole transition and make it on into adulthood and have a successful contributing life to society.
Yeah.
If they could do that. And HBCUs have a long way to go. They have done really well in certain areas, and they've done bad in others. And it was good that they have sustained and stayed for so long to give kids that opportunity to go.
Yeah.
Now and compete. But I mean, once you have made that jump, you made that move, and when you look at the history of HBCUs, and you look at their ups and downs, you look at all the things that have occurred, and the successes of black people that went to HBCUs, and the successes of when you compare what the white schools and the Division I big time schools are doing, I could say that it's starting to really balance out on what you can do going to HBCU.
Yeah,
they have like I say, still have a lot of work to do financially because we don't have the money at those schools like they do at the other schools. But HBCUs, we have to really invest back into the school.
Yeah.
What they said that
The alumni, man.
the boosters for what was it? Was it Jackson State?
Yeah.
They said that they had some amazing numbers of the percentages of throughout the U.S. as far as how much people give back to the universities. It's very low.
Right.
Our alumni, our booster programs for these schools are atrocious.
Yeah.
I think one of the best was it's a small school. I think it's Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Brown was one of the best. One of those small universities, without me doing it, one of the small HBCUs had the highest participation from the alumni.
Okay.
FAMU, Jackson State, all of the big names, it was atrocious.
It was bad.
Because I know that came out because Dion brought it out.
Yeah.
I mean, not Dion, but my man Roland Martin.
Yeah.
He did a really good presentation where he talked about the low participation from the alumni.
Did he present?
That's a problem.
Did he present like any facts in terms of
facts.
numbers?
He was reading them numbers off. That's what I'm saying. He mentioned
he did his due diligence.
He did his due diligence.
Okay.
And it was atrocious. But
yeah,
that's one of the things that keep the HBCUs back from competing.
Yeah,
on those levels, the money coming back. I mean, you ain't got that many students anyway, but whatever, if everybody gave, it would really be.
So that's the basic solution.
Yeah,
you got to give back.
You got to give back, and then so now you got the HBCU with looming is the classic, which is the classic is I was looking at some of the numbers in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
The classic started. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in 1933 and 1978 rained. Then 1978, that's when it stopped.
Yeah.
And then it came back 2021.
Yeah, that was the first year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna get in some of that. I'm getting more of the festivities. My wife won't be able to go to the luncheon. I think I could probably hit the luncheon.
Yeah.
And then we had then I hit the Battle of the Bands and hit the what's called. We try to get involved in all that.
Okay.
Battle of the Bands is real exciting.
Yeah.
Because the band's up close.
And
and Jackson State be trying to blow everybody out.
Yeah, they
be trying to blow you unconscious. I went on their side last year.
Yeah.
And them kids, I mean, they was doing everything they could to blow. And they were blowing.
Yeah.
It was blowing. I can't take nothing from it. But, the 100 did a wonderful presentation and sounded really good. And it's always a good battle. And I like to see it. I like to see it. So
let's say sonic boom.
The sonic boom of the South, baby. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Is that
Southern? Weekend coming.
No, that's Southern, right?
Southern is the Human Jukebox.
Oh, okay.
Sonic boom of the South is Jackson State.
Okay.
A little story about Jackson State. When I was over the road, I went through Mississippi a lot. Mississippi, Louisiana, all that off of I-10, all through there. And I remember one day I went through there and I shut down on a Friday. And I was able to go and hang out in the band room, man. Hang out in the band room at Jackson State, catch that night rehearsal. The only thing I didn't get to see was the J-Seps because they don't practice with the band.
Who is that?
That's the dancing girls, some of the best in the world.
Oh, okay.
They the prancing, the J-Seps.
Okay.
They don't practice with the band. They only come on the day of the game and put it all together.
Oh, okay.
They put it together today, and they are real strict that they practices, bro. You can't
Yeah.
bring no phone out. They'll come over there. Hey, you put your phone up. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So they got night practice. They practice on that concrete. They got all their stuff out there. I was out there hanging out with them for a while. I was in the band room.
Yeah.
I got footage of in the band room with them when they was practicing.
Yeah,
And
man,
then
we
the
need
guy
to see
came
that,
over
man.
there and asked me who I was and all that. And I'm saying, hey, look, man, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. I was at FAMU, but I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing from y'all. Y'all ain't, hey, y'all. I'm a fan now. I mean, I love black college football, man. I love these bands, man.
I mean, did you tell them what you really wanted to tell them?
No, I mean, I do.
Which is.
Hey, man, I enjoy them, man.
It's no comparison to the.
Hey, man, I don't want to get into all that, I think they are one of the few, other than them and Southern, that maintain that healthy fear in those kids as they go through the process to become members of those bands. Healthy, because I'm not about that hazing and beating and all that there, but I do believe in working the hell out of the kids and teaching them your system, making them march, play, all of that.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. You ain't got to slap nobody, you ain't got to kick nobody. I'm all for running it back and forth, running everything that's going to make you the best band member you can be so that you can perform at the high level. Them people come out there to see you perform at a high level, and I love it.
Yeah.
And on my Instagram, I'll show you some of the stuff that I got from my time over the road when I was at Jackson State. Wonderful times over there. I didn't get the chance to go to Southern. I wanted to hit all of the schools off of I-10, Alcorn State, Southern. All of them schools you can, as you pass through Mississippi and Louisiana, you can run through all of them schools, man. Catch their band practices.
Where's Southern located? That's in Baton
Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Yeah.
So I was all
What
up
Grambling
over
at?
that.
What Grambling?
That's right there in
New Orleans,
Louisiana too.
Louisiana. Oh, okay, that's in
They're
New
on the other
Orleans.
side. Yeah, they're in Grambling. They're in Grambling, Mississippi. They're in Mississippi.
And Mississippi. Oh, okay. All right.
So you'll be able to hit Grambling, Alcorn State, Jackson State, all them Alabama schools. Yeah. I just didn't get to do my tour. I was over there once. I almost went to Southern. I almost went to Southern because I wanted to go to their practice. I would have loved to went to one of their practices. But anyway, HBCUs is where it's at. If you want to be in that black college, that band, we about to have a really good weekend coming up, and I look forward to it. And hey, let's get to it. HBCUs, baby, and the classic weekend is coming up, and let's be a part of it.
I got a question. Is Flomo gonna be a part of the Battle of the Bands?
Flomo will allow. They have an event at Flomo, and if you should look on the events, but they not. They may be in the Battle of Bands because I don't know, man. I don't know if it'll work for them to be in there because it's normally high schools.
Oh, okay.
It's not a college Battle of the Bands,
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, they be competing with FAM and Jackson State. No, they wouldn't be in that.
Oh, okay.
It's the high schools.
But how they looking though, man?
They looking. They just come from Paris.
Yeah.
Maybe a month or so ago, and they growing. I mean, they got that's their main thing is to get that student body in there. You know that the campus has really nothing to offer. They got to invest more into the school to bring the students in there.
Yeah.
Get them in there. Get their facilities. I mean, Mr. B and them doing a fantastic job with what they got.
Yeah.
They doing the best you can do with what you got. And I mean, hey, they performing miracles with them. You know, we work with them every year.
Yeah.
And we do the cookout for them. And we talk to the kids every year and spend time with them. And they growing. And that's going to be their thing.
Yeah.
That's going to be their thing. But with all, it's hard for them to compete because the finances limit all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they doing the best they can, and hey, we supporting them, and we, that's how I form a band director. So I'm with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
To start getting in some of this other stuff so that we don't. I want to talk about. I know Trump is is one of your favorite presidents. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean because I mean you don't, you know, we really didn't talk about presidential races and all this type of stuff. 30, 40, 50 years ago, I wasn't studying none of that. I still don't really pay attention to it. But I want to just the highest office you can attain,
Mm-hmm.
the most powerful position you can obtain in the world
Yeah.
is to be the American president.
Yeah.
Now, Trump made it.
Yeah, he did. He did.
With you know, like I tell people, my problem always been with Trump
Mm-hmm.
is how he carried himself as an older man.
Okay.
I just felt that to be 70 something years old,
Mm-hmm.
you would have seen a lot and understood a lot, and you would act accordingly.
Okay.
You know what our country's faced with. You know how everything happens. You know how everything works. You know the government.
Yeah.
So you get in there and you start making all this noise and acting like you never knew how the government operated. And you coming in here talking about, I want to expose and change. I don't want to run it this way. Whatever. But that was my problem with your boy.
Okay.
Is how he carried himself.
Okay.
Because I'm all about the man.
Okay.
And that's why I liked Obama so much.
Okay.
Because of the man. And the country needed that after what we've been through.
Okay. Well, I voted for him. Obama.
Who that?
I voted for Obama twice.
Okay.
Right?
Me too.
All right. So
now,
the
not
first
for
time-
not for policy, none of that. I just did it because
he was black. Point blank period. That's why I voted for him, because he was black.
because he
That's
was a
it.
black man
And that's the
that
worst
stood.
thing to do.
Well,
Is
look.
to vote for somebody because of the color of their skin.
Well, watch out.
You understand what I'm saying?
And
That's
white
the worst
folks,
thing.
So it's all right for the white folks to do it.
Well, I wouldn't say. Well, first of all, there's more proof that in terms of black people voting for somebody because of the color of their skin, right? Versus
Well, that was the only
a white
opportunity
person
we had.
versus a white person voting for somebody for the color, because of the color of their skin, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, first of all, it's always been a white president,
Yeah.
other than Obama, right?
Yeah.
So the argument is we did vote for him because he was black.
It
Period.
was a no-brainer.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So we was like, fuck the policy. And I even voted for him a second time, right?
Mhm.
Now, we're talking about Obama. Well, I did not agree with some of the policy. One main thing in particular, right? But that's just my opinion. I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I can, because I know if I do say anything about that particular thing, then once this airs, we're gonna be getting I'm gonna be getting all kind of hate. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'll leave that alone, right? But we talking about Trump, right? So we talking about Trump, and
Well, he had,
what?
we talking about the fact
Mhm.
that he's been
how he carried
the
himself,
highest office,
right? How he carried himself,
how he
right?
carried himself, and the different things,
Okay.
the mess he's causing between
Okay,
the parties,
so-
and the uproar he's causing in the country. Do you
okay.
think he's doing that?
There's a double standard, right? Because
That's right.
because Joe Biden did a lot of shit, right, that he should be locked up for, right? But the thing with Trump, right? So let's spin the block back to Trump, right? So the thing with Trump is, first of all, I don't really agree with how he talked to people, right? Okay, he bad with talking to people, right?
Or how he represents the country,
Right.
because he's a
But
representative.
But if you look at the policy and you look at the things that he has done, like when he was in, everybody, the majority of people were making money, man. Like the economy was doing well. And then in addition to that, basically, it takes more than 4 years. You understand?
Yeah.
If he had, and the things that he done within those 4 years that he was president, just imagine what it would have been like the next 4 years had he been in there now.
Okay, so it's not all about the people. It's about the parties. And that's my problem with politics. You speak highly of what he did economically for our country.
Right.
But then, that's all we could speak highly of.
Okay.
Because as a person,
Mm-hmm.
he was not what America has normally been represented as.
Okay.
He was not the type of man that represented our country.
Okay. So
you got to take you take the good. You have to in that sense, but
okay.
you
So
understand
basically,
that overshadows a lot.
okay. So basically, he's just doing what most people on the left or most politicians do. He was just doing it in the open, like being authentic with himself, like talking to people. But a lot of times, a lot of
He
these
just had
politicians
no
do
manners,
stuff
man. He ain't had no
behind
manners,
closed
man.
doors.
Trump ain't got no manners. How you be 78
You know why this
years
man
old?
don't have no manners? Because look at it like this here, right? You go do an interview on CNN, right? First of all, the interviewer that's interviewing Trump, first of all, that person probably already don't like him, right? And their whole goal is to trip him up, right? Now,
Because he's
do
triple.
he have a? But listen, but
He's
listen, you have to
man.
know, you have to listen to a lot of these interviews, man. Put it to this way, right? I don't want nobody interviewing me like that because
I would imagine.
you understand what I'm saying?
When they coming at you, disingenuous.
Yeah, they coming at you
coming
aggressive,
at me already.
right?
Mad, don't like me, all that. Already. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
They
sometimes
already they're not giving me a fair shot anyway. So
Right.
I understand he faces a lot of that.
yeah. So listen,
But I'm saying
you can
he-
disagree with him or you can disagree with the person all day, right?
Yeah.
But there's a such thing as being like respectable, right? And then basically what they do is they already know the temperament that he have,
Yeah. So
right?
They
So that's
poking.
easy. They poking.
at it.
You
Yeah.
poking the bear, and then a lot of times, a lot of these sound bites that they cut in the things that they put on CNN, and MSNBC, a lot of that shit, you don't get the whole story. The reason why I say that is because I know just on the back end of things, like doing this video editing and all that type shit, right? I've edited interviews, whereas I could cut certain things out,
Yeah.
right? And you can basically make a narrative. You understand what I'm saying? And that's basically what they do. I'm telling you. I know it for a fact. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've sat behind the board, and trust me, I don't have near the experience that a lot of these editors have.
Oh yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So if I can do it with my limited knowledge, right? Imagine what they can do. And then with social media, they just cutting it up, and then just
So you saying they continue to paint him as this type of person.
of course they do.
So okay,
Of course they do.
So
It's a lot of shit.
we
It's a
agree
lot of
with-
shit. They never, ever. Okay, I give you an example, right? If you Google Biden, right, you're gonna get nothing but positive shit, right? It's very rare that you're gonna get anything negative about him. And I'm talking about during the campaign.
Okay, doing the campaign.
You understand what I'm saying? During the campaign, right? Because why is that? Because that's by design, right?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, the like a lot of the people at Google, at Facebook, right? A lot of these people it's this new thing, this woke shit now. You understand what I'm saying? With like everything is racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not saying that. I look at it like this, right? It's just evil, right? Because it's only one race. That's the human race,
yeah.
right? But we got different different nationalities or whatever, right? We got a lot of, of course.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I mean, it's and they keep a lot of that shit in our face in terms about the race shit.
So, but I'm saying now, I'm gonna stick.
But
to this
anyway,
now.
but go ahead.
How
How do I feel about what?
What do you think other countries think of us once we were, we got our former president
I don't.
being indicted? How do you think that represents us as a country?
Well, we are the laughing stock right now.
Okay.
That don't represent us, right? But guess what? They really laughing at us, right? Because of Joe Biden. Like straight up, bro.
Yeah.
Like I've seen interviews, right,
Yeah.
where Joe Biden, one of Joe Biden's handlers, right, he's looking at the Pope, right, and he's calling the Pope somebody else's name.
He's an older man. You got to give him that.
Bro,
we got to give him
what
that.
the
He's
hell
older
that
than
got
Trump,
to
man.
do?
Let's give that to the man.
Okay.
Man. He's 79. What he not 85?
And you think mentally that he can run the company,
No,
run this
man.
country?
I didn't think none of them mentally are doing.
Who do you think is sharper? Who do you think
Obama
got a no? No, that's not the question I'm asking you, right? I'm talking about who you think is sharper out of Joe Biden and Trump. Sharper.
Let's clear the
Who's a
ages
better
up
businessman?
First.
No.
How old is- how old-
No.
let's get
Forget
some
the
ages
age.
out
I
right
asked
now.
you
And mental.
one question. I asked you one question, right? Who's sharper, Joe Biden or Trump, to make decisions?
At
Right
this
now.
state now, Trump.
Okay, Trump is better. I mean, we know
Sharp.
that, right? Trump, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Now over
so
his
why-
career, Joe Biden. That's why I
How?
said, yeah.
how
He's been sharp in the past. I mean, look, all of these,
do you? Okay,
they
so
got
do you
some-
know his history?
they got some.
Do you
look,
actually know what
look, man,
Joe Biden voted on?
look,
Like all the shit that he voted on?
This is
What
America.
has Joe Biden helped? How has Joe Biden helped the black community, man?
Let me just say this.
Listen, he insulted Charlemagne, right, by saying that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Let me just.
And
say
why didn't Charlemagne push back on that? But he'll push back on somebody like Larry Elder with all this black shit, right?
this? Ooh, Charlemagne.
Charlemagne, right?
He pushed back.
Yeah, like the same energy that you're gonna put into like somebody. This guy you interviewed him, and he disrespected you to your face, bro. Like, come on, I mean,
Yeah. I didn't see.
but
that.
you ain't say shit about it. Oh yeah, man, that's through this election, man.
He said that too.
Charlemagne, and he was like Charlemagne the God was interviewing him,
Okay.
right? Charlemagne was interviewing him, and Joe Biden out of his mouth said that, well, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. But guess what? Democrats, right? They would just it's
They'll
like
do that. They can do that.
but listen,
They will do that. I'm sorry.
yeah, but the people, right? If you bring that up to certain people, right? It goes from a logical conversation to a emotional conversation. You get what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, listen,
You know,
I've been called the house nigga, all type of shit.
I didn't. You know, for a
telling you, man.
long time, I didn't get into the political aspect
Yeah.
because you ain't gonna win.
But listen,
Because both, like, I remember one
disrespect
thing.
is
Farrakhan
disrespect,
said,
man.
yeah,
Disrespect is disrespect.
But that's right.
Yeah. So
And Trump do a lot of that, and Joe Biden do it, and whoever. But I wanted to say that
did Trump say
Farrakhan
anything
said-
about?
something about both parties.
Okay.
He said the Republicans take. He said the Republicans take us, and the Democrats take us.
How? Because there's a narrative that Farrakhan had to maintain.
I mean the same narrative he had for the longest,
Yeah.
and that's
Because he got
Yeah,
a group of people that's following him, right? If Farrakhan woke up tomorrow, right, and he had this epiphany, right, and his mind just changed about certain things, right? See, Farrakhan had to be careful about what he say because, again, like he got this huge following. You see what I'm saying? So
I mean he's clear on what he believes
oh yeah.
as far as
Well,
the government
yeah.
and the presidencies and all that.
What's the
He's-
solution that he had for the government? Tell me something.
He is not practical, and that's
So
the
it's not a
solution
solution.
they had. Yeah, it's not. No,
Okay.
well, they've been one. The Nation of Islam, their core beliefs is that separate. They believe we should have our own. They should have their own. They don't believe in they believe in segregation.
Okay.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so
that
I
never
mean
worked,
that's
man.
not gonna work. But they've been preaching that for the longest.
Yeah.
That's the core of their
Listen,
their
man.
message.
So there's
But
this,
my point was that you're not gonna you're not gonna win or lose
Let me ask
riding on
something.
either one of them.
what is systemic racism? What is that?
Now that you let's talk about that the next podcast.
Okay.
Let's
all
talk
right,
about that.
All right.
Let me write that down right now, Stank.
Systemic racism, because these are these terms that's being thrown around now. You know what I mean? Systemic racism. The system. You know what I'm saying? What's the system? Who's running the system? What is the system?
We already know.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So now to be able to move forward and end on a positive note,
yeah.
it's unfortunate what our country's been through. We have
Yeah.
we have a past like no other.
Yeah.
To be the youngest of all countries, we have a very decorated, interesting, colorful. We have a very, very, very dark and light past. But
Yeah.
to be the youngest and be one of the only countries to allow that religious freedom and for us to grow and prosper so well
Yeah.
by God's grace, I just I remember when the children of Israel in the Bible they asked for a king,
Mm-hmm.
and basically God said that if you want a king, everything that comes with it, you better be ready to deal with.
Yeah.
And that's what's been happening. Ever since a king or a ruler or that type of system took hold, we've been seeing the aftermath.
Yeah.
And here we are as a country with a system, which we'll get into with systemic racism,
Yeah.
with a system that has been built and put in place that we've been fighting for the longest
Mm-hmm.
to have some inclusion with limited with very, very measurable gains
Okay.
from what we've been looking for. So
Right.
like I always say, you know, it all depends on what kingdom you really want to be a part of.
Yeah.
That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah. Well.
And once again, Rob,
Yeah.
you got a lot of editing to do,
Yeah, I do. I got some
a
editing.
lot of putting together. But
Yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
this podcast is gonna run smooth, and this podcast is gonna be able to be informative. I just want us to
Yeah.
be able to be informative and
Yeah.
have people saying, "Man, y'all, I heard I heard Rob and Frank them. They was talking about something real interesting on Chief Hall podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I want to tune in."
Yeah.
And we welcome it. And soon, as we start to open up our vocabulary, open up our dialogue, open up all of these issues because it's
Yeah.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
And hey, this Frankie D and that's Robbie B.
Yeah.
And we glad to be here. Chief Hall Podcast.
Yeah, man.
And we out.